All right, let's get into this. All right.
Mm.
So, hello, everybody, and welcome into Monster School. I am Monster, and this is.
Mama talks.
And today we are talking psychological horror. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much You know what it is to an extent. It's the films that'll mess with your mind. Like, it's not scary necessarily. Uh. It's not gory.
It should be scary.
It should be
It
scary.
should
It's
be
the
scary.
fear comes from the idea that it's doing something psychological to you. That's the idea. It's not the boo
Right.
necessarily.
It's not necessarily paranormal.
You're right. So to start, actually,
Kind
before we
of.
get into
Kind of
this,
though.
I gotta give a shout out to you because you made me smile. So yeah. So last night I was working 5 projects at the same time, and I was like stressed out and
Ooh-wee,
everything.
that juggle.
And every now and then I throw up your stream, but I can't type in it because it's like on the wall. That's the thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it's just that. And then my heart, I got so like stupid happy because that vampire thing you're doing behind you for me, the Dracula's
Yes.
Brides, the
Whoa.
thing that made me almost like cry, and I could tell I needed sleep too, was the fact that we wanted to make it abstract because you weren't relying on the idea of doing caricatures like human
Yes.
things, but you're doing it, and it looks so
But I'm
fucking
doing
good.
it.
It looks so good. I was so happy, and I had this amount of like pride in me because I looked in. Yeah, see, I zoomed in on their faces. I'm like, she's got this, dude. It looks so
It's
good.
like I just gotta stop thinking about it and just do it.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
it
God.
looks good. Like I literally, like when you were doing, I got up and I zoomed in. It's like the proportions are all accurate. I'm like, she fucking nailed it, yo. Like, come on. But no, that literally made my night. Like the struggle, I won't re-bring it up on stream, but the thing I was dealing with, it's like that's the moment where I was like, it distracted me from
Aw.
reality, and I'm like, I love Mama so
Hell
much.
yeah. Aw, I'm glad. Yay.
Yeah. All right, back to fear.
Back to fear.
So the first question that I'm throwing out there is, what
Okay.
horror film has messed with your head to the extent of it being imprinted on your brain?
Well, imprinted on my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm just gonna have to stick with my homie and go with Silence of the Lambs. That
Hannibal?
one, Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. Well, actually, more specifically, Buffalo Bill. If
Okay.
we're going characters. But yeah, it's just there forever, and like I reference it all the fucking time.
Right? Yeah. I got that
It's-
message and made me laugh.
I couldn't. I'm like, oh, I gotta show him.
Um,
It's fun when you find someone else with the same like sense of humor.
right. I was there and I was like, huh. And then I was like, I'll forward this to him. Like, no one will get it.
No one will get it.
He's an interesting. Oh well, we'll get into that part because he's
Yes, we
obviously
will.
on the list. Mine is one that I'm gonna talk about later on, like briefly, which it does a number on your brain. It's Hereditary. There's
Oh,
imagery in that. I'm not gonna spoil it because I feel like someday you will watch it, but
I will one day. I'm just not ready.
the imagery is powerful to the point where you're like, it's so realistic to the point where you're like, that could happen at moments, and it's so unnerving that it gets under your skin because you've never even thought of it. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now. Hereditary
Oh.
for me is the one that branded my brain, and it's one of those things where you think it's gonna stick with you for a week. It's a lot like experiencing a death, where it's like it's with you for a long time,
Coming in
and then it's
waves.
just and then it's just there, and
Ooh,
it's
that trauma.
yeah. There's one shot in the film,
That's what
but
it is.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Let's go on. All right. Well, the first movie we're talking about is actually Silence of the Lambs, which is pretty much the OG psychological horror.
The OG. You can't not love it. Oh my God.
Right. So since we're gonna start with that, pretty much everybody I'm assuming knows what Silence of the Lambs is. It's about Clarice
I
Starling,
think that's
who's
a fair statement.
analyst Why can't I say the word?
Psychological analyst.
Thank you. I did the thing. Psychological analyst, and she comes in to look at her new patient, which is Hannibal Lecter. And it's like, it's kind of cool because it's like, this guy's like new level. Like, he's genius level, right? And at first,
The heart song.
it's cool because like you're watching them, and it's like she thinks she can size him up because it's like she's in that moment, you know. But
She's
then,
a student.
right,
Who's
Right.
still a student and thinks she could take him on.
But he's the teacher. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is, and this is the moment where I was like, that's cool. Like, this is like supernatural almost in terms of like, he's not really a slasher killer, but you could consider him that. It's when he uses his words to influence things, where it's like he makes the inmate next to him because he disgraced her by throwing, you know what, on her face.
Yep.
And he just like, he's like, oh, he told him a couple sentences and he made him swallow his tongue.
Yep.
It's like, that's
and
insane.
That should have been a huge clue on what the fuck she was dealing with. And the fact that she thought she could outwit him, you know, it was just like, oh, honey.
Well, that's the thing. That's what makes it terrifying, because the way I viewed it when I first saw it is, if he can, he's saying 3 sentences to a man, he swallows his tongue. She's interviewing him every day in full-blown conversations.
Day.
That's ingenious.
Exposure every day.
Right.
Just dropping them seeds in there and waiting for the boom.
Right.
Yep.
So I can't remember. He doesn't get. No, he does get out, but towards the end.
Sort of. Yeah.
But the idea is she's needs his help later on to help find Buffalo Bill, correct?
Yes. That's like the whole point of her being there. Yeah.
And Buffalo Bill for me.
Actually, no. I don't think.
I thought the idea at first it's like she's just like doing an interview almost, like trying to learn.
I think they want him to admit to or divulge more information about his murders, and he's like, "I can help you catch Buffalo Bill." You know, like, don't pay attention to me. Distraction.
Exactly. But yeah, Buffalo Bill didn't really unnerve me. I thought he was kind of fun. Like, I just liked his lines.
Well,
like,
that honestly is what's unnerving about it. Is
he's so casual about it, what he's doing.
You can't help but kind of be like, this guy, though. And he's terrible.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Well, the worst part for me, I'll say this.
When a movie, like, sets you up to like a terrible character like that. Like, you can't help but like them. And it's terrifying.
The lovability came from when he's basically in his torture cave. The part that stuck with me with him, where I found to be, like, weird, is when he goes up to the girl on the street and he's like, what size are you?
Yeah.
And he throws her in the van. That part's like, it just gets under your skin because it's such a casual conversation.
Yeah, like, just help me out real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to be wearing you later.
But yeah, psychologically, it's a fantastic film. It's like always been in the top 10 like horror films of all time. Hannibal I loved, because that was kind of like exactly what you wanted to see. I didn't necessarily like the recasting of Jodie Foster to Julianne Moore, which was a bit odd for me. But the end scene, I'm not going to spoil, but with Ray Liotta when he's at the table. And that you're like, oh my goodness. And then
you're like, oh yeah, that's happening.
The most poetic part, where I was like, it mimics itself in every horror slasher movie ever, because there's always the detective obsessed with like the killer or this or that. Like, they're meant for each other. It's like, you know what I mean? Like Scream. What's her name? What's her name from Scream?
Cindy.
Cindy is always with Ghostface. Nancy's always with Freddy. Like, it's like this duality between the two. Yeah. It's when Hannibal grabs her arm and he's like, this is going to hurt really bad. And you know what he's about to do? And he does. I'm not going to, again, I don't want to spoil this movie, but you know what? It's been out long enough.
I would say that's fair. Like, if you haven't watched it by now, you obviously have no interest.
Right. He takes off his own hand, which is so, like, interesting. Because at this point, I think he actually feels love for her.
Yes.
Which is so interesting.
Which is not part of the psychology of a psychopath like that. Like, usually they're only interested in their primal desires.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like Cthulhu, where the monster falls in love with one woman. Just one woman that seems to capture him.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of like the whole point of the movie, right? Is getting that monster to be a little bit less of a monster.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of good kills in it too, like the intestines.
So good kills. Yeah. You gotta love a good kill.
Well, that's the cool. I mean, he's just a smooth killer too. The way he talks, where he's just like
such a gent.
Oh, remember when he's tied up and he's looking at the what is that? I love your shoes. Like, it's so like, and you're like, he's so cool.
Love this guy.
Yeah, and And then Red Dragon I didn't really like, I remember. I don't even really remember Red Dragon a whole lot.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was an okay movie. Obviously, it's not going to live up to Hannibal,
Right.
but that's always the case.
But
it's
the
really
one
hard
that
to...
was almost on par with Hannibal for me was Hannibal Rising. That was interesting.
That one was a very good story.
Because he was a gentleman. That's the idea.
Yes.
And he was in love. Maybe that's like a callback. And the idea is like, it's so interesting because it's got kind of like he's... I gotta be careful because I don't know TOS rules. But there's a scene when he's in the woods with that guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're dating that Asian girl. Does her blink go this way or this way?" And he's like, he's so offended because it's a woman. That's the thing.
Right.
He cares about women.
Right.
Like he's
Don't
all
you
about
dare
being polite.
disrespect a woman.
Right.
Yes.
To the point where he'll literally eat you. So it's like it's just interesting how his mind works, but. Yeah,
love it.
I didn't see much of the TV series because again, I don't know why they do those TV series. Like
Okay, honestly though, was not bad.
Okay,
I did
I'll watch
enjoy
it.
Hannibal's character. Honestly, this might sound really fucked up, but I love putting it on before I go to sleep because his voice is very soothing.
Oh, it doesn't. Whenever I'm in this funk, I put on Nightmare on Elm Street. So I just like hearing like, "Hey, bitch," and I'm like, "Huh." I'm just going to sleep.
I've just got Rick and Morty in my head now.
But yeah,
Yeah,
the reason I avoided that is because for some reason they keep taking these folklore characters and putting them in like crime scene investigation shows, like Lucifer, Sleepy Hollow. It's just like, why is Ichabod Crane with the FBI? It's like
because Lucifer is fucking hot. That's why.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of weird that they're
actually do with their character to just like he's hot enough.
Right.
Give him this name. Let's go.
Well, the thing that's ridiculous about that show is they're like, he's not such a bad guy. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he pretty much becomes God.
Definition, right? It's so weird.
As far as like the whole like Lucifer thing, my favorite show is Good Omens.
I want to watch that. That's
fantastic
with David Tennant and the guy that was married to Kate Beckinsale for a bit.
Highly recommend it. Definitely watch it.
He was what's his name? He was the Lycan leader. He played Lucius,
I'm
right?
terrible with names. You know this.
Okay. Oh yeah, sorry.
You know, yeah, and yes, but
All right.
I have no idea.
So the next one on the list is Donnie Darko.
I love Donnie Darko.
So
it's always been a fave, and the soundtrack, love it. Everything about it.
I do not like Donnie Darko. I'm sorry. I gotta rewatch it, but I'm sorry. The wormholes and the time. I don't do good with time travel movies. That's the thing. I just don't do good with warped realities, time, and that whole movie is just like that. Like my brain just can't take it.
Is, yes.
Yeah, so that's why I can't take it. It's like it's not that I don't like it. I like the aesthetic. I like the idea that there's that bunny which looks dope, and there's the Frank. It's like I like it, but it's like I get to the end of the movie and it's like I like movies to be more laid out for me. I don't like having to think afterwards, like Inception, where it's like
so I assume you didn't like Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense? I like The Sixth Sense.
That was a movie that made you think.
No, but they spelled it out for me at the end. They spelled it out for me at the end of Sixth Sense. He sees dead people. That's it. And then they do a flashback of Bruce Willis.
But it was one of those, if you return to it and watch it again, it's like a whole other experience.
I'll watch Donnie Darko again.
That's exactly.
Because I don't remember it a whole bunch. I remember after I watched it, I was like, my head hurt.
It's so good.
All right. Stop.
Please rewatch it.
I'll rewatch it. I promise.
Okay.
All right. Next is the Unbreakable franchise.
Okay. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. It has been an extremely long time since I've seen the movies, and I know Glass came out not too long ago, but I have a gist of it. But Glass? I don't really remember. I haven't seen Glass. That one I haven't seen.
Okay.
But I saw Unbreakable and I saw
Split.
Okay,
so Unbreakable.
But I do understand the connections between the trilogy. So
cool.
Yeah.
Unbreakable is pretty much. You know what? It's psychological horror only for the murder aspect, so I shouldn't really even put it on the list. But
yeah, I was a little surprised that you did, to be honest with you.
Right.
I was like, okay.
It's just the way it's filmed. It felt very it was psychological, but it wasn't horror because the idea of superheroes, where it's like, just so
it's mind over matter, which makes it psychological. So I understand the point that you were making.
But I think the reason I did it is because of its follow-up, which was Split, which is very much psychological horror,
is very dark,
which is split personalities.
Monster. There's a monster.
Yeah, exactly. The Beast.
The
um,
Beast.
but yeah, we're gonna skip to the next one because this one isn't really. It's
Okay.
not really true psychological horror, but Glass is worth watching because it's obviously Bruce Willis is the superhero proclaimed,
Yes.
and then you have Samuel Jackson who's Glass, who's the anti-villain, and then you have the Beast, who is basically the Beast, the the creature.
Yeah.
What's cool about
Yeah.
Glass is Glass, aka Samuel Jackson, teams up with the Beast to take down. It's very interesting the way it's done.
Nothing makes friends more than a common enemy.
Exactly. Well said. All right. Oh, all right. Next is Get Out.
Oh, so fucking good.
Right? It was
I
good.
like, and I was honestly, I was a little nervous because after watching Suspiria,
Yep.
it was hard for
Right,
any
because
other
you're on that
movie
high
to
and you just
follow
don't want
that
to.
one
Yep.
up. It was just like I was so locked on it. And
So,
I was like,
what would
man,
you
it was
think
so
about
good.
it? Like, what do you think about it as a whole?
Get Out.
Yeah.
I loved it, and
Right?
I love the end when the homie pops out and he's like, "I fucking called it."
Yep. Yep. You think
And
it's
I was
gonna
like,
be
"He
the
did,
cop.
he called it." And I was so happy it wasn't that racist asshole cop. I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's
Right.
a
There's
friend."
so many things in that movie when I rewatch it that like I feel like he put in there on purpose. Like when the guy first gets to the house, the father, Bradley Whitford, he's like the one that's married to the woman that does the ting ting or whatever. He's like,
Yeah.
"Don't go downstairs. There's black mold down there." So I think black mold is African Americans that they're about to like. I think there's like analogies, and then at the end, do you notice his girlfriend is eating cereal with the cereal separate from the milk? It's Fruit Loops. It's because milk
I
is
didn't even
white
catch
and it's
that.
colored cereal.
Oh my
Like there's little
God.
things like I've rewatched it like 3 times. Every time I pick something because like remember the grandfather
I gotta
that's
watch it
running
again now.
like sprinting towards
Yes.
the camera.
Yes.
It's because the Caucasian elderly man that took that body always wanted to be a runner,
He's fat.
and he like it's so interesting. Like if you rewatch it and listen, it's like it's mind blowing. I've seen it 4 times already, and every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why. Because that's the cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I knew shit was up right away, dude. I was like, okay, this dad's trying way too hard. He's racist
Right.
as fuck. You know? And like the whole family, and then the mom was all like psycho, like controlling of everything.
Yeah.
So I thought, I thought she was in charge of all of it. I was like, this
Mhm.
bitch is controlling everyone. Like no one thinks for themselves. It's kind of like what's that movie where it's like a parasite that and everybody's kind of controlled by them, kind of like Stranger Things.
The
You have your
Invasion?
main monster, and like that might be it. Yes.
With Nicole Kidman.
So I thought that was kind of like the route we were going. I had no motherfucking idea it was going to be a whole ass family of psychopaths. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It's cool.
Ooh.
It's cool. And do you know what I picked up on? I'm like, I think he did that too. So in the remember when he's about to get he's in the chair tied down,
Yeah.
and he knows if he hears it,
yeah,
he'll like
and
whatever.
He starts pulling out the stuffing.
He starts picking cotton.
Yeah.
I think they did that connection too.
didn't
Like
even catch that
yes,
either.
I think like there's so many layers to this film in terms of them
There are a lot of
referencing like
layers.
slavery, diversity, like all these things. It's huge. I'm telling you, every time I watch it, I'm like, there's that. That's cool.
Wow.
But yeah, it's
I'm gonna have to rewatch it now.
it's addicting. Like literally after the second time I saw it, 2 days later I saw it a third time. I just kept going because it's like a Rolodex.
Not gonna lie, I'm like definitely gonna rewatch Suspiria because I'm like, oh, it's so pretty.
All right,
It's
we're
so
getting
beautiful.
there.
It's
It's on
such
the
a
list.
beautiful movie.
All right, next is the follow-up, which was Us, which Jordan Peele did.
Yes.
Um,
That one I have seen, but it was a little while ago, so I'm gonna try to
right.
keep up.
Aesthetically, I think it's one of the most gorgeous horror films I've seen because I like how he plays with color and contrast. I remember the girl on the beach going into the little fun house or whatever, and it's storming behind her. I like the idea of like the dual versions of themselves, how they all have red outfits.
Yeah.
But it's one of those films where it's like if you look at it as a piece of art, it works. But if you look at it
Yes.
concrete as a laid out film, it makes no sense. Because if they're mimicking what they're doing above them, when do they have time to sew the red suits, When do they have time? Like, how do they know how to sew?
Yeah,
How
it's
did like
all
it's one of those
valid
things,
points.
and it's like, so you guys made, if it's the entire Earth, you made 1.2 billion suits from red, and you all have gold scissors for some reason, but you don't have a gold manufacturer. It's
Yeah,
like
what's up with
there's
that? Like,
right, there's plots in it, and then you're like, maybe there's some message like in Get Out that he's trying to do, and then you're like, no, I just think this is like not all the way thought out. It's cool because you could
right.
tell he's trying to do something, but it feels like he reached a certain threshold where he's like, it is what it is, so he just had to release it.
Was it a book by chance before it was a movie?
I don't
Is
know.
it
Let me
that
guess.
is that the case? Because that
Where's
happens a lot where they take a book and they make a movie out of it and they cut out like all the reason
right.
and just add the action.
It's not a book.
Hmm. Or a comic book? No, probably not.
No, it looks like he wrote it.
Hmm. Well, maybe there's going to be another one
Maybe.
to help
Us too.
explain.
You saw the trailer for Nope though, right? The new one. It looks I don't know what it is. Like,
yeah, it literally didn't say shit, but it was just like, what the fuck is happening?
right. I'm like, is it it's got to be aliens. And then I'm like, but and then I was like, you know what? I just got to wait cuz I didn't understand anything
Right.
that was going on. But I guess that's the
I
point.
kind of enjoy the anticipation, but at the same time, it's like, could you give me something to nibble on with that? Like, I don't
Right.
even.
So the next one on our list is the classic. It's Psycho.
Psycho.
So that's like,
The first horror movie to show a flushing toilet.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw you
Why
in
do I
chat
know
when I
this
was
shit?
doing the Halloween show. I looked down and that's one of the questions. You're like, Psycho was. I was like, which movie? And everybody was like, I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm like, what?
I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Noted.
No, you got that one
That's the
right.
shit.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
remember. Did I?
Yeah, I thought you did.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I felt like I fucked up a lot on that show, man.
No.
Fuck. This year it's mine.
Oh yeah, and the prizes are huge this year too. Like it's gonna be fun. Like I'm going all
I'm
out.
putting
On
my
this
try
show.
hard pants on this year. Look out.
Right. They're just leggings that say try hard. like, oh, you're being literal.
It's gonna be my whole outfit. Just try hard.
I
didn't say that.
But yeah, we should talk about
It
it. Psycho, pretty much everybody knows. Norman Bates. There's a twist at the end, and it's that he is his mother because he misses his mother, so psychologically he puts himself in his mother's body, aka the outfit, and that's pretty much it. The film, it works, but for me, they spend way too much time for the first like 40 minutes not being with Norman Bates. It's pretty much in the city and they're prepping to go in their car, and then the murder takes place, and then the real movie starts with the new woman coming in. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was the first movie to actually terrify me. That scared me the end. The chair turnaround, the skeleton.
Yeah.
But it works. It's a solid film, but I don't give it as much praise as other people do. Like it's aesthetically like when you see the Psycho house, when you see
like cult following, yeah.
right,
which
there's
is
a cult
always the
following
case
to
with
it.
cult followings. You know, you got your like dead hard fans that will make it so much bigger.
Right.
I do with House of a Thousand Corpses. A lot of people hate that movie. They think
people
it's dog
hate,
shit. And
yeah.
I'm like, it's
like
so
I'm pretty
awesome!
sure Rotten Tomatoes has it like at 5%.
Oh my god, Rotten Tomatoes can kiss my ass.
I
They
know,
don't like
dude.
a lot of movies that I
know,
love.
dude. I go on there sometimes and I'm like, how?
Fuck you.
Next is one that I kind of like better than it because the ending twist is amazing, and it's American Psycho with Christian Bale.
That one was really fucking good.
Yeah.
It really was.
Talk about
it was
a build-up.
scary.
Yeah.
Whoa. Stop. It's not playtime.
I was like,
she's like, I got my ball. Let's go.
But no, yeah, the twist at the end of that movie is phenomenal. I'm not going to spoil that one because that one thoroughly like gets you where you realize.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't watched that one.
It's worth watching though. It's worth a look. It's pretty much Psycho. That's the idea.
And it's got phenomenal actors. If the
oh yeah, Jared Leto's in it.
You.
Like people always forget Jared Leto's in there.
I know.
That's right. The song of the 1950s. Hey, Paul!
Oh my god.
It's so cool too the way he does that. It's like you think it wouldn't work because it's so overacted, but the way he's moving
so
and talking,
manic, though.
it's like right.
Works.
That's the idea.
Yes.
It works. After that is is the Babadook, which
I did not see it.
You didn't see it. Okay, I'll skip over it. I'll skip over
Sorry,
it.
I know
It's
I've heard
fine.
such good things.
It's a really good movie. Some people were disappointed with it. I was a little bit because I was expecting something else, but it works. It works. It works both ways because I still
Okay.
appreciate it. Next is actually besides Psycho, one of the first movies to completely terrify me, which it didn't terrify you, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me.
Because I remember it's not that it was a scary film; it was unnerving. But the problem is at the beginning of the
Point of
film,
view.
if they didn't put that text that said this was reviewed by the police, this is a true story, because that's never been done before. So I'm watching it as if it's legit. And the problem is when it ends, I don't have a computer at the time to go to. Computers are only at like your public city library, which I'd have to run down to and be like, "Our witch is real." And the
Yeah,
thing
no
is,
smartphones to like let me fucking fact check.
right,
this
there's no
shit, yeah.
websites like openly like Reddit or anything where people are answering these questions. So I'm just had to sit there for a week and being like, "Yeah, witches are out there," and like they're making
Well, I
people
mean,
stand
they
in a
are,
right, but it's like they're making
but
people. This witch made a guy stand in a corner. And I don't know how long he's standing in that corner. I don't want to stand in the corner.
oh no, don't put me in timeout,
Yeah.
Miss Witchy.
Um.
Sorry.
Right. No, you're good. But it's a solid. It was innovative because of its the idea is like let's just shoot a movie with a regular camera almost because it has the cheapest budget like
Well,
ever.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what's
that's
and it
exactly.
made millions of dollars. It's probably almost at like the multi-million-dollar mark now.
And I really do believe it's because I grew up like in the sticks, like in the woods. I seen
Right.
some shit.
You're
I see
like
shit that
I
hunters
do that all
do
the
that
time.
kind of mimic like what they pulled off in that movie. So like if
Right.
I saw that shit, I wouldn't even be scared. I'd be like, all right, so I don't tread into this territory. Got it. Going this way.
Exactly.
Like I know what to look out
Yeah.
for.
You know it so well that like it's yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
So no fear for me. Sorry.
That
Sorry,
has to
Charlie.
do with well, I keep this put a little footnote. Your same reaction to that I had with another film because I'm used to it, but I'll bring it up in a bit. The next one though is the follow up to handheld footage, which is Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
which yeah, like your reaction, yeah, like it's almost like a comfort, like a warm blanket, yeah. This film was fun for me. I wasn't
It was
scared.
fun.
I wasn't scared.
The
It was
first one was fun. They
right.
could have stopped
They could have stopped
instead of
after number 9 or something, whatever.
still going,
But
and
I
it's like, oh
remember
look, shit's moving.
I
Ah!
rewatched this with Chase a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
The acting in it is so bad you will not believe. Like it's comical how like literally it's supposed like they couldn't afford to do multiple shots because obviously it's one shot, right? But every time there's a mistake, you'll see like bad acting, and then it'll just cut to another thing where they're like, "Oh my god!" Click. Click next like
Yeah.
scene, and you're like, they can't edit it out. It's,
And you're
it's
like,
so
okay.
interesting. It's yeah. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like it's cool. It's like Blair Witch
My
Project. In terms of,
favorite part, honestly,
is
of
it the
that
bed
movie.
when she's next to the bed and the
Yes.
time? That's a cool
Yes.
device.
I
Yeah.
was like, nice move.
'Cause-
Because like that's a thing. Like especially like I suffer from sleep paralysis and shit.
Yep.
So it
Oh, my
feels like
spine just went cold because
forever
I didn't think of that.
while you're in it,
Right.
So like to see that she's just standing there for so long, it's like
Oh,
imagine waking up to that bitch like staring at you like what
right?
the fuck?
You just stab her. She's like, "Oh."
Like that's
But
how
no.
you get hit.
I still don't know.
fucking
Do
be
you think she
standing over
really?
my
Do you
shit.
think she stood there for about like 2 hours? She had to have, right?
I think they just like edited the
How though?
number
Because I think at
moving.
well, the thing is, it looked like she was moving like this, like
Yeah.
oh,
but
maybe she
put
was
that
actually
on
like
a loop. Just put that part on a loop where she's
no,
like, kinda,
because he's
like,
moving around in the bed. Remember, he's in the bed
oh,
moving.
good point.
Oh no, you know what? You're right. What they probably did was because she's standing next to the bed and he's here, they cut it down the
Clip.
middle, right?
Yep.
So he's can move as much as
Yeah.
you want. That's it.
Yeah, dude, we got it.
Yeah, we got this shit.
Yeah.
Next is okay. We'll do the original just to get it out of the way, but Suspiria.
Oh, the original.
So yeah, I know. I've been okay. So I saw a clip of the original when I was maybe 13, and I wanted to see it for a while because I like things that are like kind of artistic and out there. I watched it for the first time, the original, 2 weeks ago. I saw the remake when it first came out. I believe it was 2 years ago it came out. But
I wish I skipped the original.
right.
Oh my God,
So
I'm sorry, my eyes
for
dropped.
the original, it's very linear. I'll say that because it doesn't take the twist ending that the remake does. It very much follows her to the point where it's like, girl gets in trouble. A girl goes to a school. School is witches. She defeats witches. End of story. And it's very linear the way the story works. And what I really hated about the movie, but I wanted to love, was the color. I don't know why these.
I did enjoy the colors. Yes.
Are you sure? Because the use of red lighting was everywhere for no reason. Like I was trying to greens
it was
and
complementive colors. So I see what they were going for with that, and you have to remember this is a 70s. So,
right.
Oi, don't you dare!
I love the 70s.
So like they've only got so much to work with. I get it.
Get that, but my disappointment was the fact that they didn't utilize colors with the film. Like I wanted blue to signify a witch. I wanted red to say they were just using the color gamut. That's what I didn't like.
What I didn't like was about an hour of boring before we finally got to the fucking movie.
Yeah,
it was like, oh look, everyone's a bunch of bitches. Big shock. It's a dance school,
Right.
And then finally, oh, it's all clicking. Now suddenly I know what to do. Right. Come on.
Agree. The only part I really
was so much better.
We're 5 seconds and we'll get into it. I swear. The part that I liked in it, though, that I really was invested in, it's so simplistic, but it's when the blind man is walking the dog in this huge open area almost near fountain, and he looks up at the top of this building, and there's nothing up there, which I thought was kind of cool because it's I don't know, it just plays on the mind because I like it when directors give you the ability to create the image of what the witch is, but I don't know. And then the dog starts eating him, and I don't know. I like that bit, but besides that, yeah, it wasn't much to talk about. But the remake,
though.
So I'll let you go first.
Slam dunk. Oh my god, I've never seen a movie go from such shit to fucking masterpiece. Boom.
Aesthetically,
oh
it's
my god,
gorgeous.
Everything. It was a piece of fucking.
Right?
Everything. Visually.
Because the thing that
sounds,
was cool.
The story. Everything. And the discipline with the actors. Oh my god. You would never know that they're acting.
Well, that's the thing. You look at freaking 50 Shades of Grey girl.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yeah, the lead girl, when she's doing, they had to butcher themselves because they look like ballet people doing ballet.
Yes, they do.
But the cool thing about this movie, and all of it's amazing, I recommend it to everybody, is when they're dancing and the teachers are teaching them, which are witches at this point. Well, even if you don't know,
it's
the fact is
yeah.
they're dancing basically on top of what is a pentagram.
Yes.
To summon something, and it's that's a cool moment where you're
are rituals,
right?
Their energy,
and
is
they
what
think
the
they're
witches
just
are
practicing
using.
for this big routine.
And that's what I'm saying. Everything about this movie works.
Right.
Everything, every fucking piece of the puzzle fits so majestically.
Yep. And the fact that
love
the main lead is basically Mother Superior. She is they're taking care of her for a reason. It's nobody mess with this girl. She's gonna be doing her thing.
And then she comes in oh, you think I'm a pawn? That's adorable. Get fucked.
Yeah. No.
That moment. Oh god, I was
right? Yep.
Bitch, what?
But yeah, and the ending, it's really cool. It's really cool. The gore factor too.
Okay, so knowing the end now, when she's laying in bed and the bish comes in after she fucked up the dance.
Yep.
Because the chick's leg shatters.
Yep.
And she's like, how can no one else see how much worse this is going to get? That was forewarning, and I was like, "Oh, that's what she." Because they had that connection,
right.
And she was like, "You catching my drift?" And you don't know that's what's happening. Oh my god,
right.
That's why I'm I gotta rewatch it again because I know
works on. Yeah, I know. I've rewatched it quite a few times now. It works on so many levels because the thing that I like is, and this is just me blowing hot steam, but when. I really want to know her character name, but the lead actress, I'll say it again, is dancing, but she's kind of in the voodoo doll of, hey, Chase is in chat. When the lead character is Dan. Oh, sorry. I gotta look up her name. It's bugging me.
It's fine. Go ahead.
It's driving me nuts. 50.
You're talking about when she's doing her like pretty much initiation dance and it's killing off the other chick? Because that
Right.
was
I think she's
ooh.
Dakota Johnson. That's it. When Dakota Johnson is doing the dance, I should have looked up the character's name. I think she's like voodoo dolled into this girl, but she's voodoo dolled in backwards. So if her hand moves forward this way, it breaks the other way.
Oh, interesting.
I think
like
that would be cool
universe.
because I didn't understand. Because if she was truly inside her, it wouldn't be hurting her at all because it'd be the same movements. But I'm thinking it's like backwards for some reason for her. So when she twists her head this way, it's actually rolling it this way. So it's like that's why her chin is like warped like that. I think it's like a weird.
Oh, I just assumed like the movements and shape, like shifting the energy, is exactly a strike.
All right, shut
so
up. No, you make
she
a good
thinks
point.
she's doing a dance, but she's got a lot of power, and I think this is probably when she learns that she has a lot of power.
Right.
Because before that, she's very timid. Like she's been through some shit. You can tell.
Yeah.
So like she's used to kind of taking it, and now like through this ritual, she's like, I'm a bad bitch,
Yep.
And then
talk about it. It's such a good movie. I really want to talk about it forever, but it's like everybody is such a good cast. Like Chloe Moretz at the beginning is phenomenal. The one from Let Me In, the main vampire chick.
Yes.
And then Tilda Swinton, the teacher, I thought was phenomenal.
I loved her.
Cool for me, which brought it like old school horror. And I'm bringing it full 360. But it's when, the old woman that's like overweight in the chair and she's all that.
With the arms and shit sticking out of her.
I just love that scene because it's practical effects. That's the thing. It's like the director.
I appreciate the fuck out of that. Yeah.
Right. He clearly
and
like
it was
loves
gross.
this.
And like her shit's all leaking and stuff,
right.
like, and you're just like, and they're all like worshiping this nasty bitch, and you're like, this isn't
kill
good.
Her.
And then death fucking rises up. Love it.
And you should congratulate Chase, by the way, because he has been getting into the horror genre like crazy. So
good job.
So far he's watched Friday the 13th 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the past 2 weeks. So yeah, he's doing That's really good, man.
A lot of Friday the 13th, friend. You doing all right?
Well, he's a lot like me too. He goes straight to Amazon after a movie, and it's like looking at like things he can buy. It's like, I like that mask. It's like, let's wait till after the third, fourth movie.
I can't commit to the masks.
Really?
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Changes too much. What one are you gonna pick?
That's true. That's
my only gripe with it is like okay, for example, Ghostface always fucking looks like Ghostface. Anyone can be the fucking killer as long as you got the look.
Well, I think the idea of Jason is, because we picked up on it, is
new mask, new mask, new mask.
All the damage that he's taking from every film is wearing on his mask.
Okay.
So he gets a machete in the head by young Corey Feldman, and the next movie he has the notch in his face or whatever. So I think it's the progression of.
Well, then duct tape that bitch and keep it working. I don't know, like.
Right. Yeah.
True.
So what was I gonna say? No, the last bit I'll add is it's healthy to see a director do what we would do, because you saw the original Suspiria, I saw the original Suspiria, and he probably saw it and he's like, I can do something with this.
Like, this is a
cool.
Great story. It just executed like shit.
It's like, as much as I kind of love to like Phantasm, it doesn't change the fact that I'd like to remake it and make a bit more sense out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's cool that they do that. The next film we're talking about is it's a lot like Suspiria, actually. Black Swan with Natalie Portman.
It was a lot like it, huh?
Yeah.
Except instead of supernatural like powers at hand, it was just mental illness, which is really sad.
It's really sad. Yeah.
I was sad through a lot of the movie. I gotta be honest. I didn't have that like, oh, this is beautiful. Like, I was just like, I feel so terrible for her. The overwhelming mother, just like from Carrie, and then you've got your, dickhead teacher who's literally wants you on your knees to give you the part, and
yeah, literally, it's like Mila Kunis is like riding him, and she's like, I get the part. But Do you know what I didn't know, which blew my mind? Did you see the cartoon that came out early '90s, late '80s, The Swan Princess?
That's going back too far. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, apparently I didn't know this play was kind of based on something called The Swan Princess, which was based on that cartoon. And
Swan
it's
Lake.
Swan Lake. There it is.
That's a dance.
You're right.
A
I
classic
thought it came from
ballet.
I thought he based it on
It's
a
kind
cartoon
of
I
a
saw in the
big
'90s.
deal.
I didn't know. Okay, whatever. All right. Well, that's
It's
all.
fine. I know. I'm not all that big into ballet or anything either, but Swan Lake,
Right.
I love the song. I love the dance. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's a very dark story, so of course I'm into it.
Right. I didn't like the ending. I never
The
liked.
movie nailed it.
Right. I never
as
liked
far as that.
suicide in films because the end hit hard. Because like you know it's a mental illness. You know she's struggling. It's almost like she has like paralysis demons mixed with like some type of manic like it's just like dark stuff because you know it's in her head at a certain point and you just have to live what she's living, and then
You
basically
pretty much catch that drift pretty quick into the movie when she goes into her mother's room and the mom has like the art that she's making of her daughter and the eyes move. You
yeah.
see the eyes move on it, and you're like, "Oh fuck, she's
You're like, did she get that at the
like
Haunted
right
Mansion?
away?"
But I have a question. If you do you know the ending of Swan Lake? Is there a death of the swan or something like that?
Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah,
like
so that's okay. So that it's kind of beautiful, but I obviously don't support it.
It was literally perfect.
Right,
It
that's
really
what she
was,
said
but
too.
it's
She was like
devastating.
perfect because that performance she was doing,
And
like it hits you. It's like the end of Whiplash, where he's like drumming out, and you're like, it's perfect the way this is done.
Perfect.
It's nailed, and she says perfect, but in her mind, she's like,
and that's the thing.
this
Think
is
about it. As devastating and super sad as it is, think about it. You know what her fate was going to be after that dance. Overwhelming psychopath mother trying to live through her. Then you got the guy, oh, you're my little princess. You know, like she fell right into that bullshit.
She killed herself for that reason. I think she killed herself based on what you just basically implemented to me was she believes she is the swan.
Oh yeah, she's
so in order to complete this play and make it feel perfect, she has to kill herself. It's her fate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very dark film. I recommend watching it, but it doesn't change the fact that it's just dark. It's like Requiem for a Dream, where it's like it's just dark, but you should watch it.
I can't watch that shit, dude. Oh my god.
Requiem for a Dream is sorry, even saying it.
I can't even. It's too real.
It's like I just said Candyman to you, and you're like, oh no. Because it is.
That refrigerator scene haunts me.
The old woman, the freaking the end, the ass to ass.
Listed on psychological horror. Actually, that would have been a good one. That fucked me up.
If you wanna do it, we could talk about Requiem for a Dream if you want, because it is psychological horror.
It really is, and it's very realistic because it's about drug abuse and taking over your brain and shit, and that's what happens.
And you wouldn't expect it either, because it's like you have the sweetest cast. It's Jared Leto, one of my old school crushes, who is Jennifer Connelly, and then I believe I thought was going to be comedic relief because he was in it, but what's his name from White Chicks? Martin.
There's no comedic relief.
Right, yeah, there's no comedic relief. It's literally drug abuse, like obsession with the old lady, pills, like it's
diet pills.
Right, and the things that happen to these characters.
And that's the thing. This is real shit. They used to put that shit in the old diet pills, making everybody a bunch
of
And
what did she always say? She's like, I just wanted to be on the show. Like she just wanted to be on the show.
She just wanted to be on the show, man.
It's unnerving. Just the way it's shot. It's shot like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but very depressing.
But dark. Like no dreams are actually achieved. Right. You hear of the dreams, you see the dream, and you watch the decay from the abuse, and it's just devastating.
The worst for me is when they find what's his name. I really wish I remembered his name. Martin. It's not Martin Lawrence. It's again. Dang it! I gotta type it in. Requiem for a Dream. I hate this. Marlon Wayans. When you find him OD'd and he spins around in the chair and he's like dead and he's all like zoned out, that hit hard. And then the end scene with Jennifer Connelly, where it's basically rape because it's like you got all these old men around her and she's doing,
it's drug induced rape.
Right, and she's crying and you're like, this is so bad. It's like Fear and Loathing meets Clockwork Orange meets like it's just like
Yeah. If you want to be uncomfortable and if you've ever dawdled with drugs, watch that fucking
Yeah.
movie.
That's on par with Hereditary for me. That's on par with Hereditary in terms of films like that just stick with you.
And you know what? Good name drop. Clockwork Orange fucked me up quite a bit too.
I haven't seen it. I refuse to watch it because I know the idea. No, don't give me that look because
I'm okay with that. Don't watch it. It's fine.
I thought you were like,
spare yourself.
You don't like rape? I was like, what?
But also,
well, no, I know the premise is they're a gang of guys that go around and they plunder, plunge, and rape people. That's it.
Sort of. Yes, but there's more.
Describe it to me so I don't have to watch it.
So the little predator bastard gets brainwashed pretty much. They
is that the shot with his eyes
they force feed him some shit to try to like trigger his brain so that whenever he thinks of sex, that something really awful appears in his head. But here's the problem: he was already a nasty bastard. Bad things pretty much did it for him. So it kind of, they think they fixed him, and then it all unravels when they release him back into the wild.
And he goes wild on
Yeah,
no. Because I remember, I think I saw a clip where he just goes into
work.
somebody's house, and he just does it.
Him and his homies just roll right the fucking.
Right. So based on that, I'll go into the next one, which is kind of touched upon. Like, that's the thing that's horrifying about that. He's basically going into somebody's house and doing the naughty to them without their permission.
This wouldn't have worked in America. We got guns, motherfucker.
Well, yes and no, because based on the next film, it's equally as terrifying, which is The Strangers.
Okay, but weren't they kind of like out in the middle of nowhere-ish?
No, because the idea is like it's basically a home invasion movie. That's basically what it is.
Yeah,
people are wearing masks.
I remember that.
But the line at the end that coincides with the idea of Clockwork Orange, where they're just going in the house, they were like, "Why are you doing this to us?" When they were timed up, and it's the scariest line you can hear from a killer ever. She says, "Because you were home." That's the only reason. That's what's terrifying. Because everybody watching that film, they're literally in there on the sofa, and they're just like, I'm home right now. Like, everybody's home watching it. That's what's terrifying.
That movie did definitely make me uncomfortable.
Right.
I remember when the first time I watched it, I had worked a really long shift at the shop. I got home at like 4 in the morning, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not even tired yet. I'm just going to eat food, put on a show. And I saw The Strangers were on, and I was like, sweet. So I put it on, and I'm sitting there, and everyone else is asleep. And I'm all alone, like sitting on the couch.
And that shot where she's like there cooking and he's behind.
And all the windows and doors, like.
That film, I love that movie.
I think someone to fuck with my house, like I said, but
and she's a sweetheart. That Evangeline Lilly that plays in like what is it, Lord of the Rings, and wait, is that her? No, that's Steven Tyler's daughter.
Good thing you're the name guy. I'm just the visual person.
Yeah, this is gonna kill me. Liv Tyler. Okay. That's her name. But no, I love that movie. I love The Strangers because I think it works just because of that line where it's like, you were home. Like, that was it. It wasn't. They're not even like thinking about it.
A lot of the movies are kind of like that, where like the ultimate, most terrifying predator is one that just leaps on opportunity. Right. It doesn't need to be a personal reason. You just are an opportunity.
Do you know what film did that for me? It wasn't Halloween Kills. It was whatever remake one it came before, and I thought it was an ingenious shot, and it was pretty much the only thing I liked about it. It was one of, I don't know. There's too many to name, but there's a shot where, you know how they're always focusing on Michael? Like, Michael's right there. They turn around. He's gone, and they play the or whatever theme song it is. There's a shot where they're focusing on Michael, but they don't cut away. They go over his shoulder from his perspective, and he just literally, it's so weird seeing it from his perspective, but he turns left, he goes into a house, he grabs a knife, he sees a grandmother, stabs her. It's so horrific because, and then after that you think, oh, this house has some sustenance to it, like it means something. No, he leaves, goes to the garage, goes into the next house. Like, he's just evil going, and I thought that was so cool to flip the perspective.
Yeah, that's
for us to be the killer. And it makes us, because like the thing that's ingenious about that is, as much as I do it, you do it, everybody does it, we kind of glorify the slasher killers because they're so damn cool to us. But I thought that was a humbling moment where it's like, this is what it looks like to them, and you're like,
that's
right.
That's why I like playing Dead by Daylight. Like, if you play a character that has a mask on, your peripheral's limited, and it makes it trickier to see
Right.
the survivors and stuff. And I love that they implemented that.
We gotta play Dead by Daylight together soon, though. When we
Yes.
both have a moment.
I
'Cause
actually have. I'm getting a better laptop in a few weeks, so
yes.
I'll be able to
So
game
I want to
again.
play Dead by Daylight with you because I love doing Freddy, and I always do my impression of Freddy when
You
I play with
fucking
him.
would. You
Oh
fucking
yeah,
would. I
what?
hate Freddy, dude.
I
I
love
always
him.
die. I can't out.
He's
I can't
overpowered. I'll
him.
say that he is overpowered. He has the
Oh,
traps
I'm
and the
flashlight
dream.
the
And...
fuck out of you.
And then there's a game that's called Forewarned, which is basically Phasmophobia, but it's with mummies.
I have it. I like it. Let's go. I couldn't get anyone to play with me. I'm so happy.
Nobody plays with me. They're like, I'd rather play Phasmo.
Oh my
like, do you
God,
know what it is?
so good.
Right?
No, this is way more fun. Yes. Okay,
Chase
'cause
can
it's
play
so
with
much
us too because
scarier.
Chase owns it, and I know he'll play if you play. Because playing with me, it's like pulling teeth with him. But I know he'll play if you play.
I might have a fourth for us then because he would always play with me before, so maybe he'll play again. Yay!
Okay, I'm excited. The next one that's psychological horror is very fun. The game is very reserved, but the movie I think is a good movie, and it's Silent Hill.
Oh, I love.
Right?
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
it works on so many levels. So the idea is like you're in a normal world. At a certain thresh point, I believe you get transported to Silent Hill, which is basically Chernobyl in a way, where something evil, something was happened to this townsfolk where things are off, and it's very paranormal, and it's scary and it's psychological horror because you don't know. Yeah, go ahead. I used to know the lore of all of this. I used to know the lore behind the girl that was
They adopt
tortured.
a child in the movie. They adopt a child, and the child sleepwalks and has night terrors and stuff. And she is constantly obsessing about this place, Silent Hill. So finally, the mom finds that this is an actual place, and their daughter goes missing. So she goes on the hunt to go get her and save her. And then they get in like a car wreck. Along the way, and there's like a cop that gets involved to try to help them, and next thing you know they're in Silent Hill, but again the daughter has run off and she has to try to find her, and that's when the things start to twist.
I like it,
and you don't find out until the end why it's the way it is.
Right. The thing that confused me, I remember watching it, and I literally had to pause it. No lie, I think it was like 20 times because it gets a bit confusing if you don't know the lore, which I didn't fully know the lore at the time. Is the fact that the girl who is like Silent Hill, she's the good the good version of the girl there reincarnated. So she's her good half. Then there's the bad half, which is the cool with that dope scene in like I think it's a cathedral where she's like killing everybody and massacring. And then there's the girl in the
church.
Right. Yeah. There's the girl in the
because they were a fucking cult, just
right. Sure. Good point. But then there's the original girl, which is the one that's still like in the bed, all burned and everything. And she created the dark side and the light side of her. And then it's implied at the end, I think, that the dark side possesses the light side. But it's a good movie. And the thing that works for me is it works a lot like Alice in Wonderland, where it's like, or A House of a Thousand Corpses, where you're just like thrown into it. And there's different levels to this thing. It's like, you're like, oh, that's cool. That's a Pyramid Head. And you're with him for a bit. And then you get my favorite, which are the nurses, where it's like they're just all frozen. It's like,
I fucking love them.
Yeah, oh, it's so cool. Oh. Like, if I was a woman, I'd love to cosplay that, but as a man, they'd be like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, but no, I love them. I think they're like gorgeous. I wish they had more figures out there of them. They remind me of
it's really rough. I've even tried to draw them myself, and it's very difficult because like the
their proportions too. It's like a crimson thing like that.
It's very hard to make it pretty.
Right.
Once you get to the body, it's easy, but the face kind of fuck.
Agreed. But the acting is terrible. But well.
Oh my god. This needs to happen. Someone, I doubt I could tackle this one, but somebody out there needs to do Freddy with a nurse.
Oh my gosh, that'd be cool. Or
like, how much of a power couple would that be? Yo, just saying.
Right? That'd be pretty hot too.
Right?
Oh, like he's laying in bed, like a hospital bed, like all damaged. He's like, nurse, and like you see her like coming in. Oh, that'd be great. You know what'd be cool? What if you put in a like for two like if you're gonna pick like two opponents fighting, what if you put a weeping angel in a room with the nurse from Silent Hill and the creature from A Quiet Place?
Ooh. Oh, that'd be a silent film.
Right? I'm pretty sure. I just thought about it. I'm pretty sure none of them are moving.
As long as no one makes a sound or does any light, you're all right.
Right. Well,
Easy
I'm thinking
no.
if you put them in, right? Nurse from Silent Hill is obviously still. She's reacting to noise. And then you have the Quiet Place creature who's just there, like, waiting for noise. And then the other one was, what was the other one?
You said Weeping Angel?
The Weeping
I'm
Angel.
not
That's from
entirely
Doctor Who.
familiar with.
So basically, if you blink, they get closer.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I don't like this scenario.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't survive.
Have you ever seen the episode Blink of Doctor Who?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna find it and send it to you. It's
Okay.
ingenious. It's there was way back when, like 10 years ago, I ran out of horror to watch. Like I just was all caught up on it. I'm there doing my job, and there was this coworker, and she's like, "Have you seen Doctor Who?" And I'm like, "I don't watch Doctor Who. I don't like friggin' puppets and whatever the heck. Like I got the imagery down." She's like, "Watch Blink with David Tennant on Doctor Who. If you do not like it, stop watching Doctor Who." I watched that. After that moment, I saw over 300 episodes of Doctor Who just based on that single episode, because it has horror elements to it where it's like it's an angel, but if you look away, it moves closer and it's like has a grimacing look on it. So it's like woo.
No, I don't like that.
They do it in a fun way.
No.
All right,
Yikes.
let's see what we got next. We're moving along. Next on the list is Hush.
Another quiet one.
All right. So this is the film that I said.
Bad.
Okay, go ahead. You go.
I just felt bad for her. Like, felt bad. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's a home invasion. She's deaf, but it's cool because she has that heroic part that that was coming towards the end, where it's like, "You won't take me," and it's like this.
Okay, but there was like a big frustration factor for me.
But, well, before you say that, what I was gonna say was, how Blair Witch Project didn't scare you because you're so used to the woods. Hush didn't bother me at all because I'm very tactile. So, like, I was in my house. If I heard like a knocking on the window, I know exactly what to do. Like, it's just that weird, like, psychological thing.
Can hear.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like,
I didn't think of that. You're right. Well, Donnie, we could hear. Of course, you're gonna know what to do.
Call the cops.
All right.
Oh man.
But no, you know how she's a writer in it? Have you seen Midnight Mass?
Yeah. Midnight Mass. I think I did.
On Netflix, it's like the priest that's a vampire or whatever, and he goes in a small town. She's in it.
Probably. A lot of the movies kind of mold together.
It's a TV
now.
series.
Oh, then probably not.
Oh, well, she's holding a book.
No, I haven't, but it keeps popping up on my.
It's a good series, but
like,
you get it after a couple episodes what's going on.
Right.
She's holding a book in it. It's called Midnight Mass, because that was her next film.
Oh,
right.
Clever.
And the director that did this movie and the next movie, I believe, also did House on Haunted Hill, I think, because she's in it.
Oh, are you talking about the Netflix one, the Haunting of Hill House or whatever?
Have you seen that?
I have.
Yes. Okay. Good.
I have.
First season's amazing.
Universal
Second season,
Studios last year did.
They did a house. I gotta get down.
And I did so good. Okay, so like honestly, like on the real, I didn't think the show was all that scary. But the house was. Oh my god! They did such a cool thing where like above you they had like a screen and they did the chick like on it, like it was really dope. But what got me was the tall man at the end of the house. I didn't even see him because he's so big. And I was looking at the door, and he just like leaned over at me and like put his finger down to stop me, and I was just like, "Oh, what the fuck!" He got me, and I heard Basics right away in the background chuckling, like, "Oh, he got you!" I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" No, it never happened, man.
What's cool about what was I gonna say? Oh, you know the husband in Haunting of Hill House? You know at the beginning of the first season, the first episode, he's carrying his child, and like it's a terrifying moment. He's like, "Don't look at her. That's not your mom."
Yeah.
He plays the kid from E.T. He's the young boy. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's
That's
him all grown up.
crazy.
When I learned
Oh
that, I
my
was like,
God.
what? And I'm looking at it, I'm
I
like,
feel so old.
right? I was like, oh my gosh.
No, but what frustrated me about
Hush.
Hush was immediately right off the bat, you see the fucking fire alarm that is insanely loud because she's deaf, so it requires vibrations for her to feel. So it's stupid loud. You can hear that bitch from forever away, and she's constantly scooching around it throughout the whole fucking time this guy is hunting her. It's right in front of her, and she just keeps scooching
But didn't
around
she
the counter.
wait until she blinded him to use it so she'd have an advantage?
At the very end, when he's inside the house, she's like, she throws it together. Bitch, you could have used that right off the bat. What the fuck you doing?
Yeah. Bitches,
Grab
man.
the hammer instead? Like, I would have been like, pop, throw it up in the attic, because I would want it to be somewhere he can't turn it off, right?
Right.
So it alerts. Throw that bitch up in the attic, stand your ground. Game over.
That's true. I know. If only
Like,
you
it
were
was
there.
killing me. I was like, it's right in front of you.
Hey. Hey.
I'm that
Fire
one that if
alarm.
I'm in a movie theater, I'm like dying because I want to scream at it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. I agree.
That frustrated me. But other than that,
Actually,
good
the
movie.
guy that's hunting her in that is her love interest in Midnight Mass.
No fucking way.
Yeah. That's his love interest in that movie. And they end up sleeping together.
She sleeps with her.
Hey, Captain Dodo. How's it going? Yeah, that's weird.
I'm gonna have to watch that now then, just because they kind of tie it together.
Yeah.
In a way.
Midnight Mass is good. It's very slow. It's very slow. It drags. And I did a review of it on TikTok. It's freaking... If you're a horror fan, third episode, you know what's going on. But you have to wait till the 8th episode for them to hit that mark. So you know you're just watching it, waiting, and then the reveal happens. You're like, I knew it.
Yeah,
the ending's good, but it's like I wouldn't recommend it. I'll say that. It's phenomenal writing, but I wouldn't recommend it. The writing is the best writing I've ever read.
I'm like that though. If I get like I'm like, I'm not really vibing with it. I'm not gonna bother to watch it.
Right.
Maybe when I'm bored.
Dodo is wondering how we are doing. I am doing fantastic, Dodo. How are you?
Awesome.
Yeah, Mama's doing awesome. Next is one that I have conflicted interests with because I'm a bit of a hypocrite at this point because for obvious reasons I don't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched this film even though I know the director did something that was a bit not ethical, which is Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
I find the film to be ingenious, but it's hard for me to watch because I know I'm paying a certain metric, dollar amount. It's a whole thing, but I like the idea because it's kind of like the old school Wicker Man where it's like, everybody's in on it at the end and that twist is terrifying. Where it's like your loved one, your mother, your grandmother, your neighbor, the dentist, the entire city knows what you are, knows what you have. That's unnerving.
I wouldn't honestly like. I've watched it in the past. I refuse to watch it again.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's very linear and like spoilers. The devil rapes a woman. Woman becomes pregnant. Cult is surrounding the women the entire life.
What's weird? For some reason, Rosemary Baby bothers me, but come on.
You got this.
American Horror Story doesn't. Why is that?
You want to hear something kind of like sad?
Why?
I've only seen one episode of American Horror Story. It was the first. I saw season 1, episode 1, and like, I had a very gripe in my because I didn't like that the guy that directed the series Glee. I didn't like that director. I didn't like the way he acted. I didn't like the way he carried himself. Like it was weird seeing like American Horror Story produced by Glee. It's like, I don't know. It just like threw me off. I'll get back into it. It's just
okay. So
I didn't feel it was. It's on Fox, right? Is it on Fox?
Yeah, and
I don't
there's a
get how a
bunch of
series on
episodes
Fox can be
on
scary.
Netflix. There's a bunch of episodes on Hulu. Like, yeah, you can.
I need something
Okay,
to be
but
MA. I can't do TV-14. It's not scary to me.
it gets MA. Don't worry.
All right, all right. Go ahead, hit me with it. I know there's a freaking chick that's
Dude, there's
really,
so much.
really
Like, I
hot
can't
in that
even.
series, and she turns out to be an old
Okay,
woman.
so it is definitely not TV 14.
Okay.
It's not. It is. It gets. How many episodes? You said just one?
Yeah, season 1, episode 1.
Bro, go
Go
with
back.
it. The first season. No, yeah. You gotta
Because
finish that.
somebody said I should
Finish
start with a season called Asylum.
Asylum was good.
Okay.
But no.
Start with the first and go forward.
Go in order, because it'll make you appreciate things. Because I'll be honest with you. There's a few seasons that I do not care about.
Okay.
I think they sucked compared to others, but it does kind of play a role in the overall. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. They're not all necessarily super connected, but in a fucked up way, some of the characters are.
Okay.
Like, they don't go away. They just kind of like come back different.
Like a reincarnation almost.
Yeah. So the first season, it's showing you the power of this land, pretty much. Keep that in mind. Where like, anyone who dies on the land gets to stay spiritually. You don't go. You don't die off. You're still quite capable to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're on that property.
Right.
Until Halloween, of course. And then it kind of like snaps into the future a little bit, and then in the past, like it's just like. Bloop, bloop,
So it
you
does
get
have
all
some
these
remnants
stories.
in Halloween. Like there's a cool little. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And
Does
so
Sam
much
make
more.
a cameo?
So much more. Wait till you get to Cult. Oh, I love that one. And then Apocalypse. Good shit.
All right. Sounds like the
But
freaking
Asylum
Avengers.
was fucked up. You're gonna love it.
All right. Next, Hereditary. We're not going to talk about because you haven't seen it, and I don't want to talk about it. Have you seen Have you seen Midsummer?
Question.
You would have known. It's the same
Probably
idea.
not. Yeah,
So
no.
Midsummer, it's basically The Wicker Man. We don't have to get into it. It's The Wicker Man. Same idea, same premise. Oh no! This is the one that I told you to watch. That you should watch because it gives you that drug-induced feeling.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
But no, I
Just,
did not because
yeah,
I
no.
watched Suspiria and
Yeah,
Get
no,
Out.
you're good.
Instead.
But just by watching it, the way they shoot it,
Yeah.
there's this new camera, like something where afterwards you're kind of like just high, almost, and it's really weird.
See, that alone just tempts me. I'm like,
Right? Because like they're doing a normal shot of like people playing, right, and the grass is there, but if you look really close at the grass, it's moving in this abnormal way. But your mind's not picking it up because you're focusing on the characters, right? But it's creating this natural trip, and you're just like, it's interesting. It's I've never seen it done on any film medium before. Besides that, all right, we're gonna end with a final question.
Okay.
In honor in honor of Silence of the Lambs, what is your favorite dish?
Honestly, like
Of all time. Of all time.
I can always go for some eggplant parmesan. It's my favorite.
Right? That's pretty good. Mine would be my mom's, she makes ham, rice, and peppers and like dices it up, and it's very interesting. It's almost like a jambalaya.
Oh, I love me some jambalaya.
Right? Besides that,
I love too much food. I really struggled with that. I was like, I don't know if I really have a favorite because there's so many good ones.
Right? That's the thing. Like, you go home and you're like, I love pizza.
And I am, like, my motto is variety is the spice of life. I can't just settle with one thing. If I'm eating something, I need sweet, I need spicy, I need salty, you know.
You need the whole course. I'm the same way.
The whole palate.
All right. So, I didn't even prep for what we're doing next week. Hold on. Let's see what we're going to do next week. This is going to be interesting.
See.
I'm very curious. I literally didn't even think it through. Oh, this is gonna take a little bit. Say something funny.
Why don't you give Elsa a balloon?
Because she'll let it go.
Hey.
Now do me a favor and say something funny. Just kidding.
Hey, monster.
Yeah.
I can't say something funny, but you want to see something funny?
Yeah.
Look at the screen.
Okay.
You see it.
Did you type something?
Your reflection.
That's gonna do it for today. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh! Why is it way up here?
I'm not really good with jokes.
No, that's pretty good. You insulted me.
No, I'm not. Oh, that's what I do.
Oh my gosh! Why is it so far up? I gotta remember to like tag it lower.
Beasley.
Did you know what I'm scrolling through? Your instructions on how to watch Scream. Like this
know what
happens
to look
here.
out for. I wasn't kidding. I was like, I'm gonna send you fucking everything on why this movie is amazing. Did you even watch it though?
Yes. I watched it with Chase. I swear. I swear.
Chase.
Yeah, you're like I trust you, Chase.
Chase. Can we confirm?
No, do you know what he
appreciation
literally? Do you know what he said? He took me to task. He was like, "Hey, do you want to Scream tonight?" And I was like, "No, I kind of just want to play a game tonight." And he's like, "You promised Mama you'd watch this movie," and I was like, "Fine."
Good job, Chase.
Yeah, he was looking out. I guess because the thing is, I'm gonna Gail and me are filming that thing this Thursday, the intros, and I wanted to because from now on, every category I have is something she's gonna intro, but I don't know if I'll have time to edit for the. You know what? Let's do.
Oh, that's really complicated.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
You might want to rethink that decision, just for the sake of this. Like your normal intro, like
you know what? No, let's do. I'm adding a category in because that'll give me another week to edit it in. Let's do witches. Of all kinds.
No limits, huh?
No limits. Every category, and it'll give you a set. Could you watch The Witch?
I have to buy it, but yeah, I'll be able to. The Witch.
Yeah. Because I want to talk about. There's a lot of witch movies out there that people forget about, like Witches of Eastwick, The Witches with Angelica Houston.
Practical Magic, another one of my favorites. Not a horror, but it had a scary aspect. Psycho dude coming back from the dead.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this week. I am Monster, and this is
Mama Talks.
And I will see you next week, same time, and I will see them if they want to come back next week, same time.
You're coming back.
You're coming back, you piece of fucking shit.
No question about it.
All right, have a good one, everybody.
Bye.